They're innovating over in Modern with a cool new blue-green Birthing Ritual deck. I want to see if I can make it work in Vintage. Okay, welcome back. Vintage Gamers, a Tuesday night replacing the Wednesday night league. And I thought I would do something very fun and experimental, porting over from Modern. Recently, there's been a new Modern deck running around and just had 2 players in the finals of an NRG, I believe. This is a basic idea of the list here. It is a blue-green control deck is how I would probably put it. Basically, we're using the card Birthing Ritual. That is not remotely as large as I thought this card would appear. Really? Oh, my lord. Birthing Ritual. So, this card is really interesting because the way that you're using this card in this deck is a bit different than you might typically use it. So, it's kind of a birthing pod style effect. At the beginning of your end step, if you control a creature, look at the top 7 cards. So you get to do that first. You get to see what your top 7 cards are. Then you may sack a creature, and if you do, you can put a creature with mana value X or less from among the cards you looked at onto the battlefield, where X is the sacrifice creature's mana value +1. The rest go on the bottom. And so you would think you'd probably want to, try to set up some kind of combos. Maybe you want to cheat powerful creatures into play. You do something like an Allosaurus Rider, cheat that into play for, the low mana cost, and then go up to a Grizzlebrand or something. That would be like the first kind of idea I would have when thinking about this card. However, the way that the Modern decks use this card is not actually like that at all. And what they're trying to do is more of turn this Birthing Ritual into a up the beanstalk, I would say. Because what they're doing is they're playing Coiling Oracles, enter the battlefield, look at the top card, put it, the land goes in the battlefield, the otherwise goes in your hand. Ice-Fang Coatl, ETB draw card. They're trying to use those kind of value gain cards and just kind of stay at 2 mana. Maybe you go to 3 mana for an Oculus as a way to close out the game. But mostly just trying to turn the end of turn into an additional draw card. And so I think that's a little slow typically for Vintage, but Vintage is probably the slowest it's ever been, and it's the most board-oriented it's ever been. And you absolutely can beat your opponent by outvaluing them, and that's what we're going to try to do today. So I have adopted the Birthing Ritual deck into a Lurrus shell. And what I've done is I've added Deathrite Shaman and extra forces as a way of bridging the gap between turn 1 and turn 2, where you start to accrue advantage. That's actually been really helpful because it lets me actually cast this Lurrus in my very much a blue-green deck. So what I've done is I've cut off the top end. I've cut off Shardless Agent, I've cut off Oculus, and we're going to win the game through outvaluing our opponent and then draining them with Deathrite and recurring all of our cards that we sacrificed with Lurrus. So Lurrus is like very much the end of this deck. You're not going to play Lurrus until you've already established your lock, basically, and it's going to be the ending piece, and you kind of don't even, for the most part, get to go to Lurrus in this deck. But it will kind of serve as that kind of finishing effect on the top end. Which is really important because I don't have like an endurance in this deck to like loop all those cards that we already used back into our deck. Lurrus is going to serve as that kind of endurance recursion engine. And I kept the 10 Coiling Oracles, Ice-Fang Coatls, Thunder Trap, and however you say this, I've actually never said that out loud. And I've added some Thunder Trap trainers, and that is a little suspect. Because it's a little suspect because we have 25 targets on Thunder Trap Trainer, and there are a lot of creatures and lands in this deck. So this Thunder Trap Trainer is going to be less reliable than the Vintage PO version. That being said, the PO version is way more than it would need to be to usually hit 1 copy. I haven't done the actual math, but it's close enough. And the reason I want to do that is because it's very important to find your counter magic, because you can't really let things resolve for the most part. I have been extremely impressed in this deck with the Flare of Denial, which is a card that I've tried in other decks and been very unimpressed. This one has a lot of creatures, and this Flare has been extremely powerful. Hits any spell. So the Flare has been pretty good. I've added, because this Birthing Ritual is kind of a toolbox effect, you can look at 7 cards and see what one you want. I have added 1 Collector of Main and 1 Mass Vandal Vein as different cards we can get to help solve on-board issues. One being your opponent's comboing off with artifacts, and the other being like a Hollow One or something like that we need to remove, like an Oath of Druids or something. I've been pretty impressed with that. The other reason those Thundertrap trainers are good is because they'll let you find your Dismembers and Rav Traps and Force of Vigors easier out of the board. That is the idea. So we're playing Luris, so we cannot play the 3-drops. That's kind of the idea. In the sideboard, I have the additional 3 oofs to help us beat those kind of artifact combo decks. I've got the Vigors to help us battle through shops. 4 total Dismembers to battle versus mono white. Rav Trap is the card I chose for Dredge, and that way I can find it off of Trainer. I think it's a little bit better than trying to play Leyline here. I have 1 Gilded Drake as a creature hit off of Ritual that I can maybe swap like Frog or something with. And then a Mindbreak Trap for a similar reason as things like Ravenous Trap, where I can find it with this Trainer. These are going to be long and grindy games where our opponent will eventually concede from boredom. That is the intent. And so the goal of most of our games are to make it to that point. Counter the right spells, get your engine going, and see if we can't outlast our opponent. We do have an interesting fetch land mana base with the Hedge Maze for our turn 1 play. 3 basics to maybe turn on the Ice-Fang Coatl's Death Touch. And yeah, I did play it through a league and made some changes. I did not do a lot of winning in the league, but I think I ran a little cold and I made some key mistakes that could be corrected. So I actually have some hope for this deck as a deck that can theoretically work in Vintage, even though it's definitely on the lower power level. We have played these kind of super draw style decks in the past on the channel, and they do, while they are painful to pilot, they do theoretically work. So we'll try it here today in this Vintage League. Did you know subscribing here on YouTube and following on Twitch are both free ways you can support my Vintage content? All right, round 1. And like I said before, this is going to be a grindy and hard to play deck. It's going to require me not to mess up, and so I'm trying to be as focused as possible as we work our way through here. This is a great starting hand if I don't get turn 1. Hopefully the mental misstep gets us there, but I don't think I'm going to mulligan this. Against non-lure, I guess against kind of anything, you just want to have a force in your opening hand. But this looks like it might just be a turn 1 mono white creature, which will be very hard for us to beat. There's a reason that my deck has 6 forces in it. It's to hopefully bridge us to late game, but this is looking like we're going to die. Yes, this is going to replace the Wednesday night stream because I got stuff to do tomorrow. That's a lot of mana. Am I getting yeah, that's pretty unbeatable for me. Kind of needed a force for that. Now, a Seasoned Dungeoneer opener on turn 1 is not actually that good against a combo deck, but against my deck, it's going to be quite the problem. Looks like they might have 2 creatures on turn 1. Ah, yes, okay. I will concede the game. Black Lotus Mana Crypt Mox double turn 1 creature is a little bit too much. I'm going to bring in triple Dismember, and I don't usually like the Gilded Drake here because I do actually like the forces. And so what we'll do is we'll take out Mental Misstep and we'll take out Gataxian Probe. I do kind of like the Brainstorm in this deck because you do have, sometimes you'll get like a bunch of creatures in your hand that you want to put back into your deck. I don't think the Mass Vandal has like good targets, whereas I think having a Collector Roof will be pretty good. I don't know if I want to have 4 Collector Roofs. That's kind of a question that I have here. I'm thinking about it as a possibility. Mono white does heavily rely on its artifact mana base. I think I might take out the negations on the play for oofs. And then on the draw, maybe we swap. Seems like it makes sense to me. I want access to 4 trainer with 4 dismember. So maybe I'll just take out brainstorm. Let's try that. But yeah, sometimes you get vintage, and my opponent certainly vintaged me there. This hand has no mana. This hand has mana, but doesn't have a force and doesn't have a dismember. Is being on the play enough for this hand to work? It's kind of a question. Might just have to keep it. Don't know if like going to 5 is really helping me. No. And it's only death touch if we find another snow. So we would have to find another fetch. Turn 1 3 drop on a 7. Turn 1 4 drop on a 7. Archon of Emeria. Well, it's pretty good. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to hedge maze, so... Does mean I can't play a 2-drop on turn 2. Unless I hit a Mox and then play an Ice-Fang on their turn. Deathrite Shaman. That's a pretty good draw. Let's fetch out that basic forest. Play a Deathrite Shaman and play a tapped fetch. I think what I would like to see is like Thunder Trap hit Dismember, maybe? I'm not sure. Feel pretty far behind anyways. It's kind of important to have a force, but I also like mulliganing to 5 on the play is really tough. Peacekeeper, turn off my Deathrite Shaman. Sure. We're still pretty far from having a death touching Coatl though. This means that I won't be able to train her into a Dismember and cast it in the same turn. Especially if I get Wastelanded. If I get Wastelanded, I guess I just lose. Deathrite Shaman plus Wasteland. Doesn't look like they have a follow-up mana, which is very scary because it means their hand is all creatures. So that's not good. I believe this is not a mana ability, so it will cost 2 more. Flare of Denial is not the worst. Pretty sure I need a Dismember to get out of this game. But, Birthing Ritual. I think we're going to lose. Just so much fast mana and no counter from us. I will say if we had a Collector Roof here, we would turn off their only white source. But Archon is so good against every deck in the format. I guess it's not that good against Dredge, but so good against every not Dredge deck in the format. Probably going to have to sack a creature to Flare of Denial, whatever the hell this is. Probably, I mean, I have to sack Thunder Trap because it can't. The one thing I can't do is use Deathrite Shaman and sack to Flare because Flare requires a blue creature. Every other creature is, I guess, not oof, but a lot of the other creatures are blue. All right, so if we Birthing Ritual here into a Collector Oof, I mean, it doesn't help because I'm not winning on board. What I need to do is hit the other basic so that I can turn on these coatls, and then I'm actually probably okay. But how am I going to do that realistically? The problem is I just like don't think that putting a ritual in play now is going to save us. Is the like I don't have like a thing that flips this board. Like maybe just playing a coatl now and then playing another coatl later is enough. I mean, I could always turn this Deathrite Shaman into a coatl now if I hit it with ritual, and then my future coatls are actually online. I feel like I need to do something that crazy for this to work out. I also can still hit Dismember, right? So I think it's just play the ritual. See what my top cards are here. So I hit only Thunder Trap Trainer. I was kind of hoping to hit better. I could take whatever this thing is called. What chat tell me it's called? Fblthp. It'll draw me 2 cards, but pretty sure I have to hit Dismember at this point. So I think I'll just go with Thunder Trap Trainer. I didn't see any Dismembers. I just completely missed again. Oh no. All right. Well, the fact that I couldn't hit a land to play 2 spells in a turn cycle where I could play a coatl on my turn and a coatl on their turn. I mean, I guess I needed this 4 or I would lose. So I'm taking 5. At least the initiative isn't happening here. So I think I just have to take this. And then I have to hope this trainer becomes a coatl. And then I play another coatl. And then I block both. I think that's my only way here. Oh, come on, man. I just can't. Oh. That's so unfortunate. It was the 8th card down. Okay, so let me think here. If I play my spell on my turn and I flip the Thunder Trap Trainer, they won't attack in. So I kind of want, but like, what's my percentage chance? This is naming Deathrite Shaman. So my Deathrite Shaman's abilities cost 2 more mana. So the cards I've seen so far are no basic. There's 1 coatl in my top 32 cards. I think I have to play a coatl now in case I like miss and need to hit. I guess Dismember's not really helping me, is it? This sucks, man. I mean, I kind of need to hit a land drop anyways. Like, I just need to like play my spell and okay. Also now, all right, so I missed on my coatl and I only hit oof, so that's not good. I can block for a turn and they can't play any white spells, and then I'll have my coatls online. So it might just be fine. Well, I guess they still get to play another white spell because I have to block with my stupid oof. Man, I feel like I'm running so cold. They just have a seasoned engineer? Okay, so nothing fucking matters. Okay. Excuse me. All right. I mean, my opponent kept 4 mana on turn 1 and never drew another mana, and they just played a creature every turn. It's pretty unfortunate. I think, like I think we got like a little unlucky, but also like I could have played this differently, right? I could have instead of playing trainer, I could have played a coatl and then taken an extra damage, but then I would have died because they would have resolved seasoned engineer and they would have been unblockable. So like it ended up okay. It's like really unfortunate because I actually can block now, but it doesn't matter anymore. I guess. Yeah, because I can't find it. I can't cast this. Okay, I died. I really don't think that matchup is as bad as that went, but my opponent did have some nice hands, and I didn't have the right spells to counter them, so maybe I should have mulliganed harder. It's possible. All right. See if we can do this a little better. I look back at the match, and I don't really think I could have done too much differently. This hand is a turn 1 2-drop, so I'm going to keep it. I think any hand that has a Mox in our 2 Mox deck is really strong. The ability to start going and gaining advantages right away is pretty important. We also get to probe and see what opponent's working with. Of course, if my opponent is on Dredge, we are just lost in game 1 here, so I'm not sure if there's like a great way to beat Dredge. We do have like some ability to play through Dredge with Deathrite Shamans, but it's pretty bad. I did grind through a game 1 versus Vine in my test league, which was pretty cool. A lot of that on the back of Deathrite Shaman. All right, Mono Black Scam is a matchup that we should be extremely good against. I would say this has got to be one of our best possible matchups because we're just going to grind the crap out of them. They have 4 lands, Troll, Thoughtseize, Trawler. I'm not even sure that's a keep. And we have just infinite creatures that draw cards. I'm not going to force this Thoughtseize. If they want to take a force, then that's fine. We're going to find more forces, and we'll be pretty happy from here. I will say that this mono black deck can be pretty good against vintage decks, like depending on which vintage deck you pair against, but it's pretty bad against modern decks. I do think we want to force a Barrowgoyf. A Barrowgoyf sounds pretty good. See if we can find like a Flare of Denial in time. I don't want to expose my black sources to Wasteland if I can help it. Hey, there's a hard cast Flare of Denial. This deck does cast cancel a lot. It's pretty cool. See if opponent even has a 2-drop to play, though. I will say that having a Mox in this deck that's based around 2-drops is just extremely good. Is this going to be like a Troll Cycle, maybe? Sure. I will say I also want to counter like a Reanimate. A Reanimate sounds bad for me. All right. All right, so we do have 2 other snow permanents at the moment. Mask Vandal, not great in this matchup. But the cool thing is I can always throw these away to a Birthing Ritual if we find one. Not particularly convinced that I want to buy Lurrus. I think I'm going to just play... Oh, maybe I should not have played this land, sorry. Shouldn't have played that land. I forgot that I was going to cast this. Another Flare of Denial. I can't sack the Mass Vandal to Flare of Denial, which is a little unfortunate. I think I just cast it. Obviously, I don't have a Birthing Ritual yet, but... I will say we have not found... Like, I think one of the things that I really like about the idea of Trainer in this deck is helping us find that Birthing Ritual, because it is important to get the Birthing Ritual online as fast as possible. I got a lot of dudes. Let's see. Hopefully there's nothing I have to... Oh, I was going to say, hopefully there's nothing I actually have to counter, but that one is something I have to counter. All right. There it is. Look at that. Birthing Ritual. Black. Unclear. If I bought Luris, then maybe I'd be more incentivized. It's hard to say. I cut all the 3 drops, is what I cut. I have trainers. They're just like a little sus because there's only 25 hits compared to Luris's like 50 hits or something. 48 hits. All right. So I got a ritual. I've got Flare online, and I'm going to start sacking things. I have this Vandal I can sack. Let's get... we're going to get the value. Draw 2, baby. I guess I get Bowmastered. Shit. Okay, I should not have done that. I guess I have Flare Denial, so it's fine. I probably should not have gotten the card that draws cards against the Bowmaster deck. I was too hyped. That's fine. That's a 3-1. I believe this game is over, and I will win it in, I don't know, 7 turns or something. I don't know. I'm just gonna cast these ahead of combat and see what the opponent does. Ooh, another birthing ritual. That sounds like fun. I'm gonna be zooming through my deck. My opponent is not remotely resolving another spell this game. All right, cool. Look at my top 7. I see a miss. I missed. Wow. Okay. That's unfortunate. I will not sacrifice. That's one of the cool parts of this card. Look at my top 7. I see a Coiling Oracle, so I'll sack this guy. I'll get a Coiling Oracle. And I'll get another Birthing Ritual. Probably won't play that one. I don't think I need that. I only have so many creatures in my deck, too. Because I don't have Endurance to loop them all back in, all I have is Luris to replay them from my yard. But I shouldn't need them because my opponent's going to die. Like, I have 4 power in play. Opponent agrees. They've seen the writing on the wall. This looks like a Dismember matchup. This looks like not a Negation matchup, probably. Wonder if this is a Gilded Drake matchup. I feel like it could be. Not a Probe matchup. Definitely a Mental Misstep matchup. Not a Mask Vandal. Not a Collector Roof matchup. So I guess in that case, I can keep either Negation or Probe. This doesn't feel like a Negation matchup, though. Like, they have Reanimate, I get that, but it's probably not enough. Let's run like this. That went basically exactly how the deck is designed to go. So that's a pretty good encapsulation of what we're trying to do. The question will be, can we apply that to real vintage decks, not mono black scam? And you saw how we couldn't get that engine rolling against mono white with how powerful their hands were. But I also think we just like didn't have that very, very powerful hands ourselves. Like if we have a force, maybe we could have enough time to get going. So that's what we're trying to do tonight. The way I made the deck and built the deck was with vintage in mind to hopefully give us enough chances to do that. I think I'm gonna force this Thoughtseize because I want this Ancestral. Yeah, playing more than 2 Moxen when half of our creatures cost exactly green-blue is a little rough. This is a top. Yeah, I mean, I guess you're correct. I probably was just supposed to do this on my turn, and no, I don't want to overdraw. No, wait, I wouldn't overdraw. I should have done this on my turn in case I drew a Lotus. But I want to do it before they play Bowmaster, so. All right, so now if my opponent thought seizes me again, I'm just going to let them take... I mean, taking Thunder Trap's kind of annoying. Dolphy Voidwalker. That's acceptable. Probably just dismembering it. But let's play... I guess I could dismember it first. One of the problems with fetching all the basics means you're like super far away from ever casting Lurrus, but I think that's actually okay because the idea of Lurrus in this deck is to be your ending lock piece. So. All right, Chess is coming in, so I might as well only take 1 extra damage to just remove it. Green Varrogoyf. So there's no way that this could outgrow my dismember, right? If I wanted to just dismember this. Like, how could I guess if they drew a Black Lotus or a Lotus Petal. I think I'm gonna try using my dismember to kill this. And then I want to hold up in my Deathrite activation for reanimate. So I'm just gonna dismember this. And then I want to pass. Yeah, but if I eat it my turn, I'm not gaining anything, right? I got strip mined with my 3 basics. Oh, I got hard cast griefed. I think I could shrink the Goyf. That's oh, I see. Yeah, you're right. I could shrink the Goyf. That would help in case they hit a Black Lotus. True. So I think I'm just going to eat their Bloodstained Mire and cast Cancel. You do a lot of casting Cancel in this deck. It's quite strong. Now they're at no 1 card in hand, and we still have Force, and we still have Trainer, and we still have Deathrite Shaman. Birthing Ritual. So I could play Trainer and play Birthing Ritual. That would get rid of my Trainer, which is keeping Reanimate in check, but I have Force anyways, so I think I just like casting my 2 things and getting the engine going. Black Lotus or Dismember number 3. I think we take this Black Lotus for Lurrus. And I can get Lurrus going next turn. And then I'll just sack this Trainer for an Ice-Fang Coatl. And I should be winning. Game looks over. I guess they could have double reanimate here, but I still have a Death Toucher, like, seems fine. All right, my Forest got Wastelanded. I guess I lose my Death Touch. Bitter Triumph on my Deathrite Shaman. That's fine. All right, they have 1 card remaining. We have an active Birthing Ritual. We have 2 Birthing Rituals. So now I don't have the ability to play Lurrus. But I might just play Deathrite's 2nd Ritual and just gain card advantage. I will sack my Coatl, and I'll get Do I want a Thunder Trap Trainer that can miss? Or do I rather just... I think I'll just get a Coiling Oracle. Okay, and then, yeah, I'll do it again. I hit the Fblthp. Draw 2. Cool. Okay, I think we're good. Wasteland. I guess that's just fine. I guess I just get Hedge Maze and get value. Rather than Wasteland that, then my Black Source. Ice-Fang. I think I'm just gonna hold open my Deathrite activation. I think I still have a green source, right? Should still have a green source. All right, activate. Get rid of this. I just take this. I might be running out of fetchables though. Maybe I should just take 2 Deathrites and win that way. I guess we can check how many fetchables after here. So we lost our forest. We have at least a tropical and an underground sea left. Double wasteland. I see. I guess I should just hold my fetches and buy Luris. Buy and play Luris to get the Black Lotus going. All right, I have no fetchables left now. Buy Luris. Play Luris. Play Lotus. I guess Lotus is worse than just eating with Deathrite. Well, I get the hold up Deathrite. Plus, I guess I could play a flash creature. Okay, yeah, I can just play the Lotus. And then I'll attack with these. And then I will use my thing. I will turn this Coiling Oracle into a Coiling Oracle. I guess I have no lands to fetch, so that's worse. I guess it doesn't draw, so it's better against a Bowmaster. Just gotta make sure I don't draw out. Cool. I have 8 cards in hand. And the game is over. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. It's really fun. It's a cool one. All right. Our next attempt. We have a cat. We're on the draw. No cat again from the opponent. This hand has a force and 2 fetchables and 2 sinks. So pretty good. So I'm like no longer sure, Nami, if Eternal Weekend in Asia will have as many unpowered players because you can't play Vintage this because it's the same day as day 2 of Legacy. So like unpowered players might just not exist because they're all playing Legacy because they made it a 2-day tournament for some reason. I'm very, very upset about this because I already have my flight booked. Can't really take my flight away. So the numbers might not be as crazy as I thought. Looks like we might be playing against Mono Black again. There's a lot of Mono Black. All right. I mean, I'm down to get some wins, so. But yeah, it's really weird because I was expecting to be able to play in all 6 Eternal weekends this year, but it looks like I'll only be able to play in 5, even though I'll be in Japan. Getting griefed as well. They pitched Fatal Push to grief. That's interesting. Thundertrap Trainer goes. Drawing like a force here actually would be pretty interesting. I was saying that because they might like go for reanimate, and I can just force it. Tap, untapped. So they have a Bowmaster. That's quite unfortunate. We will probably have to force Bowmaster. I think our deck is like can play through Bowmaster, but it really doesn't want to play through Bowmaster. So we're gonna respond to the Bowmaster on this deck with a Coatl, see what we draw, and then pick our card to pitch. If they choose not to cast Bowmaster, we run the risk, I guess, of getting like Thoughtseize or something, but I'm gonna get our 2 basics here because they are a Wasteland deck. Play a Coatl, draw a card, and then I think I'm just gonna pitch this little guy. Got a lull out of my opponent. Maybe they think I drew the force. Okay, so I'm going to attack with my Coatl. Then I'm going to play my Birthing Ritual and my tap land. And I'll turn this Coatl into something else. A Coiling Oracle, absolutely. Okay, Mox. Looks like they have a Swamp Cycle. Okay, they're out of cards. So we just need to get a little bit more engine going, and we should be in a great spot. Okay, Barrowglyph is a good draw from them. Interesting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the Oof, and I'm going to play another Birthing Ritual. Then we hit 2 Coatls, they will have Death Touch. Nope, I hit all 3 Coatls in the first activation. So I guess I will. So I'm gonna have to chump this turn, and then we still have Sink into Stupor to bounce, but I wanted to get the engine going first. Well, we will bounce this eventually, so we'll chump for 1 turn. So if we're gonna chump, I think we might as well just get a Coiling Oracle. Deathrite Shaman. This one's another Coiling Oracle. Cool. Yeah, we could theoretically do that too. So maybe better. You're right. That's a reasonable point. We could theoretically have went for Coatl on the first one and Oracle on the second one and hit fetch. It's true. All right, so now I think we're in a great spot because we've got the whole engine online. I have Sink into Stupor to bounce this Barrowglyph for a turn or so. Gotta figure out. I might just not bounce it yet, though. I might just go for Trainer and Deathrite Shaman to build out our board. I don't know if I need to, though, right? Because I can block every turn I block is the same, right? So I can just hit Ancestral. Let's see what this trainer has. I should be keeping track of what cards I put on the bottom of my library, actually. A little too late for that. You can know if you have the chance of hitting like Ancestral or Time Walk here, which would be pretty big. Force is actually pretty good because Force will let me counter the Barrowglyph on the way back down. Or counter a Bowman, sure. All right, so now let's trigger our birthing rituals. And our first one has Thunder Trap, Ancestral, Deathrite, Deathrite. Let's take a Thunder Trap. That one has Time Walk, Flare, Lotus, Brainstorm. Time Walk is pretty nuts here. It's a little bit too much value to pass up. And then I will take a Trainer and get a draw 2. I don't think they have Bowmaster anyways. And all right, now I have multiple forces, multiple blockers, fetch lands, and time walks. So I believe this game is locked up. It's just going to take me a long time to win because my opponent's gained 20 life. This is so cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are definitely we've gone through a lot of our creatures. I don't exactly know how many. I should probably just dismiss this and try to figure it out again. All right. So Barrowglyph comes in. I'll just chump away. And the next turn is when things get really nice, where I get to Time Walk, build out for a Lurrus, maybe. Let's see. If I hit some lands. Okay, so let's do play an Underground Sea, play a Time Walk, buy a Lurrus, attack with a Trainer. I guess I'll attack with both. I guess if I hit a Coiling, I only have one Coiling Oracle. Okay. So let's go to my next turn. Sack my Trainer and get an Ice-Fang. Now I don't even have to bounce this Barrowglyph because I'm just going to have death touching things. And then I just won't use this one. And then I'll go to my next turn. And I'll play a fetch. Oh, this one can't fetch Basic Island, actually. That was a mistake. But I have another Coatl anyways, so. Let's fetch out my Bayou. And I'll play a Lurrus. I mean, we have a Deathrite Shaman, so we don't need a Black Source, but... and then let's just play a Ice-Fang from my yard. And attack. And then I don't think I need to turn anything into anything. Is more Deathrites better? No, just fine. This is fine. I think we're just fine. We'd overdraw anyways. Dark Ritual. Sure. Demonic Consultation. Sure. I think my opponent's conceding. This is exactly what I envisioned with my Lurrus, by the way. This is the exact kind of soft lock situation that I really liked. Leaving green up was better, but I'm probably just casting another Ice-Fang Coatl, so it doesn't really matter. My opponent went for Orcish Bowmaster, which is fine. And then I'll just force this. They know I have like a bunch of forces anyways. And we're just drawing so many cards that they can't really ever come back, so. All right. At end step, I'll exile their land, and I'll get a green. I'm just going to play another Ice-Fang. Could always bounce this Baragoi to increase the clock if I really want to, but maybe we will. I'll draw a card. I'll play a Black Lotus. I can kick a Thunder Trap Trainer. I'll get a negation. I'll get nothing because it's all lands. I'll fetch out an island. I don't know. I guess I'll bounce this thing. Go to combat. Swing all. I guess I should have left up the Bayou, so I could have done either or Deathrite activation, but it's fine. How many I have Deathrites left in my deck, right? So I can sack the trainer token to divert Deathrite? Yeah, I can. All right, I'll sack the Thunder Trap trainer token. Wait, it goes up to... Oh, it's a cost 2? The trainer token costs 2? I didn't even know that. Okay, well, that makes sense. I'll get an Ice-Fang Coatl. It's fine. And then I didn't even see what those cards were, so I guess I'll hit no. And now my opponent's got... I don't know. Oh, mental misstep, your vexing bobble was a good idea. Oh, flare of denial, your Barrogoyf. Wait, that's only one game. No, we got another whole game to play. Which game was that? Game 1? That was game 2. That was game 1? Yeah, it was game 1. Okay. I'm gonna bring in Dismember, and I'm gonna bring in Gilded Drake, and I'm gonna take out Force of Negation and Collector Oof and Mask Vandal. That was pretty great. Let's do it again. Oh, that's unfortunate hand. No land for my Ancestral. I'll probably get taken out of my hand anyways. I do joke that like this isn't a real vintage deck, but it's a deck that people need to be ready for Eternal Weekend in Europe and Japan. Like this is a deck with a pretty large cult following now, even if it's like not strong. It top aided unpowered in North America, so it's gonna scam some people just like Powerless Eldrazi did before it. I'm just gonna get rid of one of the flares. Really don't want to force that. I guess I just let it happen. If it was Thoughtseize, I'd snap off a force, but here they can just have reanimate follow-up, right? So if they want that to work, they have to take force the first time anyways. Our hand's great. Obviously, we've got turn 1, either Ritual or Oracle, so... And then if they, like, take Force Ritual, we get to go Oracle with Flare Denial up. So, all right. Looks like they're taking Force so they can reanimate their Grief, I would assume. Oh, Wasteland. Oh, Lotus Petal. Vexing Bauble. Turn off my Emerald, eh? And turns off my Flare Denial. Pretty good. Vexing Bauble is quite good against my deck. Let's It's very, be serious, opponent. Why is there always a strip mine? It's so rude. I'm pretty worried. I guess I just fetch 2 basics, and then I lose my green source. It's really bad. Can I just wait? Does it help me to wait? Doesn't really help me to wait, right? I guess it helps me to wait if this trainer's not good, this flare is not good, this mox is not good, and this ritual is not good until I get something in play. This is tough. The strip mine ruined everything, because if there was no strip mine, I would just get both basics and I would just be instantly winning the game. I did board out my Mask Vandal. All right, I'm gonna just make the call. I mean, Wasteland, we're pretty good against Wasteland, but I mean, strip mine is strip mine, right? Dismember. It's really bad. It's really bad for me. Sure, they hit the forest. Wait, what is this? Oh, wow. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, like this would not be a problem if there wasn't a strip mine, but strip mine is really problematic here. Also, the Vexing Bubble stopping my Emerald from turning off their Wasteland as well, like, not good. They have no follow-up lands. I see. They just immediately hit Swamp. All right. I think I'm dead. I'm gonna just use this so I can play the homunculus if I draw a land. Yeah, I don't know, man. Keeping fetch land mox and then getting with 3 basics and getting wasteland or strip mined out is not ideal. This is how I kind of lost one of my practice matches that I thought I could probably win. I was playing against workshops, and I chose not to counter a turn 1 Crucible because I have 3 basics. I had 3 fetches in my hand, so I could fetch 3 basics, and the wasteland would never matter. And they just like instantly strip mine locked me. I'm gonna go to game 3. Yeah, I mean, there is sometimes ghost quarters. It's tough to tell. I hadn't seen a ghost quarter yet, but I probably was just wrong. I probably should just like counter it anyways. All right, on the play this time. Can't get strip mine locked out of this game. I mean, this hand is great. This hand is good. Just gonna go Bayou Deathrite Shaman. All right, grief is fine. Probably not. I'd probably just hit the payoff. I mean, I have 2 counters, so they can't even resolve or reanimate on this if they want to. Like, I'll trade my Deathrite, probably. We'll see. All right, force is gone. Let's see if they reanimate. Swamp. Thoughtseize. I think that's just fine. They want to take the flare, whatever. Just doesn't feel like a very good use of their cards to just be throwing all their cards away to get rid of my forces. And now I get to hold up Deathrite activation, so they can't reanimate the Grief anyways. Technically, I can also hardcast Flare here. Oh yeah, this has been fun. I will love to play the mono black matchup with this deck. Yeah, I'm just gonna counter this. Birthing Ritual. Interesting. This is a spot that keeps coming up where I don't have my third land. I don't really know what to do about it. Because I want to keep my Deathrite Shaman, but I want to advance the board, and I just like don't trust that my deck will hit a land. And I don't really want to expose. I guess I just have to pass. It's really unfortunate. I have a bunch of sinks, 2 sinks in the deck. I'm not gonna play a Dryad Arbor though. That card is pretty bad. Great. Fatal Push. Oh, I mean, now I kind of just have to play Coatl because if I get Wastelanded, I'm going to be... Bro, how can I play triple basic and I still just get Wasteland locked out of the game? This sucks, man. I guess I can play... I can't... Ugh. Maybe I'll draw a Mental Misstep. God, they're going to have Bowmaster in response, man. Just... Hey, my basic. At least I don't get Wastelanded this turn, I guess. How, like... It went so badly. Kind of need this to hit a land this turn. Sick. All right, well, we're cooking now. So... They have 1 card left. We have a ritual that none of those cards... Oh, this card's not bad. Trainer blocks Bowmaster and doesn't draw. Black Lotus. I think I'll take Black Lotus. I still have a Flare of Denial. Something really bad happens. Then I have Lurrus Lotus. This is really good. This was really good sequence. Wasteland is fine. This was a great sequence. Swamp Cycle is fine. Paying costs. Fatal Push on my trainer. That's weird because now they can't Fatal Push my Lurrus, so resolves. And now I have, if I hit a land, I have Lurrus plus Deathrite Shaman. I guess I won't have Flare of Denial up if they top deck Bitter Triumph, but that's, I guess, unfortunate. Oh, I'm lucky I had enough tap lands there. Bye, Lurrus. Play Lurrus. Oh, wait, I will, because I'll Birthing Ritual my Deathrite Shaman into a blue card. Never mind, we're good. Hopefully a Trainer or a Coiling Oracle. God, this deck is so sick, man. Yeah, Coiling Oracle. I don't want to draw cards with Coatl or anything like that. No, I think I want to get value. And I can take hits. They can't even attack with everything anymore, so... this game is over. We won. Maybe you're right, though. Like, what I have to look at the percentage chance of hitting Oracle or Thunder Trap on my hit, because if it's only the only blue creature is the other one, it's kind of bad. How does this fare? I think I just counter it. We won. It's just we will win in a bajillion turns or whatever. Who cares? Interesting. Flare has been great in this deck because I have so many creatures. I could bounce the Bowmaster and Ancestral if I want. I mean, they don't have enough mana to recast. I don't know if that's worth it, though. Maybe I shouldn't have used the Flare. Well, I have a Black Lotus in my yard, chat. I'm just gonna... I could Thunder Trap and try to hit a Dismember. Let's just do that. Flare is good enough. I guess at this point, like, I could just take another Birthing Ritual, too. Flare's probably fine. I think I just want to hit my land drops. Nice. I can drop this trainer and get another trainer. This one might hit a Dismember. This one missed. So you see, like, that's the kind of problem with trainer here is, like, it's going to miss sometimes. But I think it serves a good enough role that it's worth it. And again, I'm only taking 2 damage every turn. As long as I don't play a creature in my lifelink, I'm lifelinking for 3, so... And now they're going to not let me attack. And now I have a flare up. There's my Dismember. I think I just wait here. So I think I just play a Deathrite out of my yard. And then pass. Maybe I shouldn't have. Yeah, I'll take a trainer. Take a ritual. Go to their turn. So I guess they don't have a Bowmaster. I have a flare up anyways, so let's dismember this. Ancestral myself. Cool. All right. This game is locked up. Let's play a Mox, play a Ritual, play a Ritual, play a Ritual, play a Deathrite, play a Deathrite, go to my end step, Ritual out. Wailing Oracle. I guess at this point I can go draw 2. This one can be a Deathrite. And this last one can be an Ice-Fang. Cool. Now I have double force up, and I'll just drain my opponent, and the game is over. In another 10 turns. This is like really... Ooh, it feels pretty good. I'll just Flare of Denial this, pitching my Ice-Fang. GG's. I don't know if Necropotence matters, opponent. You're not resolving a spell. Though if you resolved an early Necro, it would be quite good against my deck, so... All right. Can't believe we even lost a game, but we did lose a game along the way to Strip Mine. 2-1. All right, round 4 versus a very powerful wizard. See if he's testing Luris for Eternal Weekend. Not testing Luris for Eternal Weekend. Interesting. I'm sorry to say that I will also not be helping him test for Eternal Weekend as I'm playing blue-green Simic Ritual, but... Oh no! It's some root wallas. So I have won this matchup before, but I definitely don't want to see it. I have to fetch out a Bayou here. I guess I can fetch out a tropical Deathrite. I guess maybe he can't get power on loan for Eternal Weekend in Europe, and he's testing because he can get Bazaars on loan. That might be the case. Wallet time. Let's see what happens. I don't know. Actually, I'm not actually sure if Lee's going to Eternal Weekend in Europe. We'll see. Oh, good read from the opponent. I had to fetch. I wanted to fetch like basic forest, but I couldn't because it was my Delta. He's so good at this game, man. He's so smart. Super unfortunate. He's so smart, man. Just snapping off the wasteland on the tropical island after I played Deathrite Shaman on turn 1. Jesus. All right. Missed our land drop. Can't even eat this turn. Can't play a creature. Well, definitely would have played a 2-drop if I had a land. Probably Vengevine in the yard. No Squee. No Hollow One. Land. Force. Not great. Not great, I will say. I can't imagine mulliganing this hand, but I also couldn't fetch Island, so... Like, I could fetch Island, but then my Deathrite's not on to eat. I think that's pretty bad. Also, the probability my opponent wastelands me after keeping a 5-card hand on the draw after I play a Deathrite Shaman has got to be pretty low. But it's bad. I assume I'm getting Hollow One here, returning Vengevine. Probably have to Force. Yeah, I mean, I could have fetched Basic Island if I wanted to guarantee my ability to cast a spell on turn 2, but I just don't think that's what I was supposed to do. Hard to say. Just cannot draw a land to save my life. I mean, they had Strip Mine exiled, so I could have gotten a basic if I wanted to. I just feel like getting a basic island didn't feel like the right play, so... Oh, yeah, I guess basic island doesn't cast Deathrite Shaman either, so I actually had no choice. Never mind. That's true. That is a very true statement. Yeah, well, in that case, I did nothing wrong. This sucks. It feels like every time I lose with this deck, I'm getting like wastelanded, and I have 3 basics in my deck. It's crazy. Wasteland is so broken, man. Ugh. Every time, every stream is just Justin complains about Wasteland. I don't know if this is a play that's gonna resolve, but Wasteland certainly ruins the fun that I that I have in the format. I misstepping here sucks. 3 basics do stop Wasteland if you have any reasonable fucking draw where I can just fetch my lands, man. Whatever. It's fine. I don't have good sideboard cards for this matchup. I have Vigors to kill Hollow One, and I have Ravenous Traps, which are not quite good against my opponent's deck, but I'm still bringing in 2 copies usually. I don't actually think I want to be Dismembering or Collector Oofing or Mental Misstepping, but obviously Negations are dead. We might leave a Dismember in then. Everything in my deck blocks lizards, man. I'm not worried about lizards in the slightest. I want my Vigors to kill Hollow One, and I want to have the option of Rab Trapping for, like, Jesus. Sink, Deathrite. Basic Island Deathrite. All right, this one's a lot better. I'm just going to get rid of one of the... Well, this time they kept 7. Ravenous Trap won't snipe Vines if they have any Root Wallas, because the Root Wallas don't go into the graveyard. They go into exile with Madness. I'm getting my Deathrite Subtletied. Pitching Subtlety. Oh, I'm going to force this. I kind of need this to resolve. Kind of need like a Deathrite active and doing things here. Didn't get Wastelanded this time, which was nice. Vengevine, double Root Walla, attack for 4. Great. Yep, Hollowvine. What a deck. And a hollow one. Yeah. All right. I've lost the game. Don't have any Tabernacles in my build, so not much I can really do. Yep. Brutal. All right. Unfortunately, we queued back into Lee, so we are going to get run over by Hollowvine one more time. I do think that there are ways you can win this matchup, and I have, like I said, I have won some games versus this matchup in practice. A lot of it involves playing that turn 1 Deathrite Shaman and an opponent not keeping a 7-card hand, but I think I'm going to keep this one on the back of the Ancestral Recall existing, but I'm not sure it's correct to do so. We do have a Mask Vandal. When we get a creature into our yard, we'll be able to kill a hollow one. It's hard to get a creature into the yard until you activate Birthing Ritual, though, so it's a little bit sus. They kept a 6-card opener. There are negations in opponent's deck, and we would overdraw, so we have to cast a Ancestral on their upkeep. See if it gets forced. It got forced. Pitching negation. Activate Bazaar. Up to 6, down to 3. But yeah, like I chose to play Ravenous Traps in my sideboard because the overwhelming number of Bazaar players in the format are playing Dredge. Main deck Dismember. Hmm. I'm gonna pay 3 and play a cantrip because I need to hit a green land. A Black Lotus would be sick here. Play Deathrite and play Birthing Ritual. All right, a fetch land is definitely acceptable though. See what opponent does. They do have a Vengevine in the yard, but they opted to play Hollow One, so they didn't hold their Hollow One to try to trigger Vengevine. Triple Squee into the yard, which is basically game over. Though putting the Floop into the yard by blocking means I could Mask Vandal this Hollow One. But I kind of feel like I need to get my Deathrite online. It's just so late. Like, aren't I just going to die no matter what? I should probably dismember that first to try to make my opponent use a counter spell. Triple Squee is just like crazy. After my opponent didn't have any squeeze for the first turn, they just have triple Squee now. And now they're drawing 3 cards a turn, and I can't even eat these Deathrites as fast enough. Can't imagine we can win this game. It's just too many squeeze, right? Also, there's still a Vengevine, by the way. They'll probably return the Vengevine. Oh, triple Squee again. Like, the problem is if I eat a Squee... Oh. Wow, I'm surprised they're not holding the Hollow One to bring back Vengevine. But this works pretty well for me, because now I can play Mask Vandal, kill the Hollow One, and then exile a Squee. I guess they can respond to this by Noxious Revivaling this stupid card. I actually kind of messed up because I'd love to fetch another basic here. Yeah, they're going to do it in response. All right, well, that's fine. There's no way I can get a creature into my yard. No. I feel like I have to eat a Squee, but like, aren't I just so far behind if I do that? Let's see. If they don't return the Vengevine, I think it's okay. I'm gonna not block for a turn because I can ritual this thing out. I guess if I get Wastelanded, I just am kind of locked on green mana again, though. Ugh. I'm just too far behind because of that one activation gaining 3 cards. The good news of them like playing the Hollow One out means I think they're far away from Vengevine. They'd have to hit like multiple creatures for them to return Vengevine, or they would hold the Hollow One if they wanted to try to hit Vengevine. That, or they're like holding Root Wallas in hand because they want to pitch Vengevine, pitch Squeeze to get extra value. It's hard to say because they just have so many cards. You can kind of see how like a turn 1 Deathrite Shaman might be really good against what my opponent's doing, though. Like, sure, if they return Vengevine right away. Oh, they'd return nothing and are gonna. They have a third Hollow one. They have Subtlety. Returning Vine. Take 8, I think is fine. Honestly, if our spells resolve, we might be okay. I just don't think our spells are resolving either. We can bounce Vengevine. Somehow I don't think this is resolving. I'm not sure, like, sinking their spell would help very much either. I kind of need this to resolve. Ugh. They have 1 card left in hand. Actually, like, what can I even hit? I'll respond and maybe I'll hit Force. Or Flare. Neither. No, they pitched all their masters. I could take 3 and play this guy out and do some blocking. It's probably correct. All right, I'm gonna lose some people this turn. I just don't think sinking it actually helps me unless I can advance the board. I kind of need to like get to 2 Death Touchers, right? Force. Hopefully their last card is not Noxious Revival. It's Noxious. I have to block with this Luris, though. Luris into Vandal here would have been really sick. They hit double Root Walla Master of Death. That might just kill me. It's close. I feel like their top 12, 22 cards were so good. It was 3 Master of Death, Squee. Ugh. 2 hollow ones. 3 hollow ones. Man. So if I block Root Walla and I chump this, then I take exactly a lethal. So I have to block here and chump here and stay exactly alive, or not exactly alive, but alive enough. And then I have to draw. I can't even draw Ancestral, right? So probably don't have any outs. I feel like I needed my opponent to run a little less hot than that. They hit another Root Walla, so they bring back the Vengevine. Okay, great. Wonderful. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's tough no matter what, but What was that other card I took out for this? Oh, mental misstep, because I don't think I'm ever hitting a Noxious. Or I don't think I don't think it's like, they probably don't have Noxious in against me post, because I'm not wastelanding them. Honestly, it's not that big of a hit. Yeah, I guess that's a keep. Maybe they'll mull to like a reasonable number here. Doesn't look like it. Looks like my opponent kept on 6. All right, your hand is Vengevine, Hollow One. So they have turn 1 Vengevine, return Vengevine with Hollow One Rootwalla. So this Death Ray doesn't do anything. And if maybe I can convince them to wasteland me by making the same play as last time. You think I can bait them into wastelanding me like last time? They probably just didn't have a good play last time, but here they have like a good play. I mean, I do want this Death Ray Shaman to be in play on turn 1, so. But I could just get Forest. Like, isn't getting Forest so much better anyways? There's just no way they'll ever wasteland me if they actually have an active play with Vengevine on turn 1. If I hit a fetch land, then playing Coiling Oracle is nuts. But if I don't hit a fetch land, it's terrible no matter what I draw. I think my best play is just to get basic Forest and play Deathrite Shaman, and then try to beat the free power. This lets me play 2 cards on turn 2. This is going to be Vengevine, Rootwalla +1. If they don't hit a blue card, probably Subtlety. Hollow One return. They pitched Chalice. I'm surprised they kept in Chalice. Rootwalla, Vengevine, Hollow One. So they kept Subtlety. They drew another Hollow One. They drew 2 Hollow One. Come on, bro. Like, come on. What the fuck is that? Restrict Bazaar when? Oh, the Masked Vandal. Oh, look at that. 1 Hollow One down, chat. One Hollow One down. He gave me a free no attack. I don't know if that's enough, but I'll certainly try. Wasteland my black source is pretty good. Maybe if I hit Ice-Fang Coatl right now and then hit an Ice-Fang Coatl off of this, Flare of Denial. It's not a great one. So I think I need to eat a creature. Oh wait, yeah, I need to eat a creature and hit an Ice-Fang Coatl, and then I might still not have enough. Can I buy Luris? I think it's just dead. Maybe I need to buy Luris here. I need to hit an Ice-Fang Coatl off this. I didn't even hit an Ice-Fang Coatl off this. That probably means I can't even live no matter what. Sink into stupor. That might live. Imagine like actually having to play against this deck like multiple times every league and every challenge back when it was a thing. Just abysmal magic. Maybe we need to bring back 4 vexing bubbles. That'll take care of it. Anything to get these stupid Hollowvines off my stream. I wanted to play this cool and fun deck, and we only got to play it twice. My opponent just returned double Vengevine, by the way. My opponent's top 15 cards contained 2 Hollow ones, 3 Vengevines, 3 Root Wallows. Great. They also have, like, they didn't keep the Wasteland, but they could keep Wasteland to, like, beat Tabernacle as well. Just not a remotely close match. So I'm sorry, but I can't control what my opponents choose to register. So although we did not get to play 5 full rounds of this pretty cool deck, I think you got to show you what we're trying to do with our matches up against Mono Black. I don't think that it's unreasonable that this deck can do what we did against Mono Black versus some of these other decks in the format. Like, I do think that Dredge and Bazaar are quite difficult. Mono White as well, but like if we have the right forces to like make the game go a little longer, I think we can work. But like against Frog and these other, especially the other combo oriented decks, these workshop oriented decks, I think we should have a lot of game, especially against decks like Doomsday and Jewel. We're playing small creatures, we have tons of counter magic. I actually think this deck can really function against at least a decent portion of the metagame. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that full metagame spread in this league, but like I said, I can't do much about that. I can only play what I am lined up against. Would I make any changes based on this league? I don't think I would. I do still have a lot of the same worries as before. One thing that was brought up is maybe we play an Orcish Bowmaster in a flex slot. It's a little unfortunate you can't pitch Flare of Denial. You can't like sack a Orcish Bowmaster to a Flare of Denial. It has to be a blue creature. So like it's tough to lose any of our like blue creature oriented spots for that. I don't know if these sinks still do what I want them to do when they can't cast Deathrite on turn 1. The fact that we have all these islands makes the Deathlights kind of annoying as well. I do think we want enough lands to be able to turn on Death Touch on Coatl. It seems very important. But we have a lot of conflicting parts along the way. And the more you try to solve for them by putting in like real magic cards, the less the core idea of the deck will continue to function. So like, yeah, maybe I can drop a flip for a Bowmaster, but like, is that really going to be what we want to do? Again, like if I had Leylines or something instead of Lurrus for, maybe I can bring in Leylines, but I want to have Wrap Trap as my Lurrusable, my Lurrus legal anti-Dredge card. I think Wrap Trap's actually extremely good against the current versions of Dredge. The current versions of Dredge are really, really susceptible to Ravenous Trap. And Dredge is a huge proportion of the meta, and you're just not likely to see Hollowvine players. So I think it's, like, again, not worth worrying about. The cool news is this deck beats Mono Black, which I guess is something. I hope you enjoyed this experiment here with our modern Birthing Ritual deck ported into Vintage. I do think you get some reasonably powerful upgrades by being Vintage. I think the Lurrus idea of closing the game and looping cards out of the graveyard with Lurrus after you've established your loop is quite reasonable. And the trick is just, can you get to that point? More vintage content, experimental and hardcore practice for Eternal Weekend will be coming on this YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll see you then.